All right, so what we are going to do here now is go through the last market structure which we have been anticipating a while now, monopolistic competition. And again, this is another type of perfect competition, imperfect competition, as we said, right? Remember we said imperfect competition includes all three, meaning all three, such as the oligopoly, monopolistic competition, and the monopoly, right? So this is a market structure in which there are a large number of sellers and many buyers whose products can be differentiated and there are low barriers to entry. So there's one way, if they ask you to define it, where you can note down a market structures, large number of sellers, many buyers, a differentiated product, and low barriers to entry. So you might say it sounds similar to a perfect competition. Where's the difference? The difference is that it is here a differentiated product. This is the biggest difference, right? Some examples of monopolistic competition are things like restaurant, because if you think about it, they are well, not infinite, but there are 1,000 of different restaurants, clothing stores, right? However, both of these markets, the different clothing brands got their own different styles, logos. The different restaurants get the different menus, specials. So each of them won't be selling the same food. They are differentiated, right? So even though the firms are able to set their price, and they're able to differentiate their product and earn an abnormal profit, by being there is no barriers to entry, we're saying, this supernormal profit will usually encourage new firms to enter. Right? It's a long sentence. I'm going to edit it a bit. Even though firms in the monopolistic competition are able to set prices and their differentiated product may allow them to earn abnormal profits in the short run, due to there being no barriers to entry, this will encourage new firms to enter, right? Full stop. Thus, leading to normal profit. So he's saying even though firms have the ability to set prices to some extent, to advertise and differentiate their product to some extent, if they make too much abnormal profits and it entices other persons to enter, right? They're going to make normal profits in the long run. So some firms and a small proportion of this market are able to differentiate their products so that they're able to earn abnormal profits in both the long and short run. We can look at Apple, right? Apple computers, such as Mac. I mean, it's not, some might say there's an oligopolistic industry. Some might say it's a more monopolistic competition. Either case, Apple has been able to differentiate their product a lot from their competition, right? Some food farms that might face success, we can use the case of Guyana. We see every year a farm like KFC has been getting rising sales compared to perhaps Churches and Popeyes. And you know, there are several other food markets, Creole food, like if you live in Diamond, there's the Juniors, there is the Red Stand, right? All of those have their own advantage and way of differentiation. They have the sauce, they have their relish, wherever they use, right? So what are the main features of this market again? If we were to extract it, there are many buyers and sellers, freedom of entry and exit, meaning there is no barriers to entry, or minimal if there is. There's a lot of differentiation. Remember we said with perfect competition, they produce a homogeneous product, homogeneous. However, this is a heterogeneous product, right? Meaning different through branding and advertising. The firms also make normal profits in the long run, but make supernormal profits in the short run. However, the situations can also be that they make a loss in the short run, right? If they are run poorly. They are also allocatively and productively efficient compared to monopoly and oligopoly, right? And they are also price makers, right? So just as before, we will begin to look at, well, the different scenarios, or should I look at the advantages here first? Let me see. All right, we can look at the scenarios. Right, so yeah, when you finish here, you finish what I have, everything I have on this page. Give me a following, and this is my cue to continue. Again, we've done nothing difficult so far. All right, so let's proceed. So we have here the monopolistic competition in the short run, right? So very similar to the monopoly, basically. You see that a firm in this market can earn abnormal profits in the short run if AR is more than AC. As we know, I will draw a diagram here to show you as well. But usually our usual point where MR and MC intersect, that is the point at which is our profit maximizing output. And as you can see, we go up and come across to look at where it touches AR and where it touches AC, right? Just very similar to the monopoly, right? So again, let's just draw one for our own sake. Where is my share? So So we have here yeah, as I was saying, we have our model here. We start off by loading our axis. There's our price. There's our output. Or I just want to put Q, right? So yeah, we have now, we can start drawing our curves. That one there that we looked at on the previous page, it did not come from touching that axis, but I will do it just to show you that it can come both ways. Sometimes they can throw it as a diagram and it doesn't touch. Sometimes they can bring it like this where it does touch. So again, this is both the AR curve, right? And the demand curve, right? Always remember that this is AR, which is also equal to demand. This here in the inside now is our MR, marginal revenue, right? And if you recall what SAR said and what we did and what we've been emphasizing all throughout this past period is that where does the firm maximize profit, or where does the firm produce the profit maximizing output, which is an output like this, which is called MC, which occurs here where MR and MC cuts. So this here is MR equal to MC, right? That is the profit maximizing output, and sorry, the profit maximizing position. From this point now, we can get our output and our price that we're going to sell at. Let me use a different thing. Right, so yeah, BOP come across, and to show that the firm is making abnormal profit, we would want to indicate. Remember, you're drawing these diagrams to tell your story, and our story we're trying to tell is that this market structure, in this particular firm, AC is less than AR at the profit maximizing position or output. So AC might fall somewhere, let's say here, right there. Let me redraw that. Let me draw it more like this. Right, so there's our AC. Right, so as AC falls at this level, where AC is cut by this, let's say this is Q maximizing, P maximizing, PM, right? Let's say this is P1. This is where this area is our abnormal profit, because at the profit maximizing output, AR is more than AC, right? Very similar setup to what we've been doing in the other market structures.